like to extend a warm of gratitude and welcome to all my colleagues who have joined in from various, who represent various departments, various institutions, all put together. Um, I'm thankful to my RFI family. It's because of the efforts of RFI family, especially Saurabh Jain sir, Ajay Jain sir, Yograj ji, who is here with us. It's the effort of people like this that we all are meeting on a platform today. So I'm pretty sure that most of you won't be novice with the field of research. Okay, I would be mostly sharing experiences with you, which a little experience in research that I have as PhD guides or as a PhD guide as a reviewer. So whatever experience I have uh, in over this 20-21 years of my experience, so I would be sharing that with you mostly. Okay, you won't be getting more theoretically. I would try and explain the concepts to you more with examples so that you can grab it quickly. Okay, and I would like to keep it what should I say, simple and but interactive. So whenever you would like to contribute something, you would like to answer something, I would request you to use this hand raise too. Okay, so that I understand that okay, you want to speak, and once you are done, please lower it down so that others also get a chance to speak. Okay, so this is what I would expect everyone from all of you, and okay, so we are good to go. One question before I actually start with the day. Uh, Are there any PhD aspirants or PhD scholars in the group?
Yes, sir. I am one of them.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Ketki
sir.
Nayak ma'am is one of them.
Yes.
Who said yes? I'm really sorry, I missed that.
Yes,
Sir,
Dr.
I'm Kitchen
Kangsha.
Naik, sir. I am pursuing my PhD from Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad.
Great. GTU you are pursuing.
GPU, yes, sir.
Yeah, great, 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 ma'am. Great, ma'am. Yes, anyone else?
Yes, sir. Kangsha.
Okay, great, 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 ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone else who is pursuing his or her PhD?
Sir, I'm Supriya from St. Joseph College of Arts and Science.
Uh,
Uh,
Supriya ma'am, your voice is bit, we are losing you on bit your voice. Supriya ma'am, can you hear us?
yes, sir.
Okay,
Now,
yes, you were saying something. Yes, please.
sir, I'm Supriya from St. Joseph College of Arts and Science, which is located in Kadalur. I'm
Okay,
pursuing
great.
PhD, sir.
You are pursuing your PhD, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. That's great. That's great. Anyone else who is pursuing or who is planning to pursue the PhD? Okay, fair enough. So as and when you have got questions, you may raise it to me. Okay, let's begin with the first thing before I start with my topic today. So all those who have wished every one of us good evening, a very good evening to every one of you. So all those I would before I start with my topic today, that is research design and sampling. I would like to put up to you a question. I believe some of you are uh, doctorates also in the forum. Yes, in this August gathering, I have some doctors also, the PhD doctors, and I'm pretty sure they would be guide also. Irrespective of whether you are a doctorate or not, this is a simple question for everyone. Okay, whomsoever would like to answer this. This is my first idea with you. I'm writing it in chat so that even if my voice is cracking to few, you can at least read it through. Mental map of research. You have heard this term, mental map of research. Before we dive into research design and things, let us get a clarification on mental map of research. Okay. Anyone who would like to contribute? Any idea? Yes. Akanksha Anand ma'am said yes. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead. Please contribute. Akanksha ma'am, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please go ahead and contribute, ma'am. Yes.
As per my idea, whatever I have studied, a mental map means like there are certain questions which we answer as yes or no, and it moves us in a direction of which research design we should select. For example, if we are doing a randomized control trial, so in a way we move it whether we can do a randomized trial or we are going for a pilot study based on our sample size or what is our objectives of research. So
Okay.
that is a way how to proceed for to selection of our research design.
Okay. Great. Das sir, if I'm right, you have written planning of the research idea starting with all the components. Great. Ketki ma'am, what is your general idea of research? Say, if you may take one example from you.
So research is to
Sir,
find out.
am I audible?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Das ma'am, you are audible.
Yes. So actually, I don't know exactly, but I'm just thinking like before going take up a study, the background study, the which methodology we are willing to adopt, like that, all the
Okay.
scientific components. When
Okay.
we before that we plan to go for a research study, I'm just thinking that that may be a mental that map,
Okay.
maybe. Sir.
Great. Any one of you, if you would like to share any of your research interest, any one of you, so that we can take that as an example and move.
Sir, blockchain.
Sir, may I?
Okay. KK ma'am. Okay. So Suchita
Sir,
ma'am said blockchain. We would get back on to you, Suchita ma'am, on this. Yes, yes, Ketki ma'am.
sir, AI, artificial intelligence.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I missed the first word. DI, you
Sir,
said data intelligence?
no, sir, artificial intelligence, AI.
Artificial intelligence. AI. Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
I would start with KP ma'am and then I would come to Suchita ma'am. So, with these two examples, I believe I would be able to make you understand what I'm trying to largely draw into what you call as the mental map. Okay. After selecting a research topic, shaping the objective to answer specific question. Okay, great. So all of you are right. My idea is simple to you. Like I say artificial intelligence. Great. Okay. Or I say blockchain. Now I should ask myself a second question. What in artificial intelligence or what in blockchain? Okay. That is the next question that I should ask. What in artificial intelligence? Yes, Ketki ma'am. Artificial intelligence is a very broad topic. What in artificial intelligence?
Sir, what in artificial or what is artificial?
No, what in artificial intelligence?
Sir, adoption of AI techniques, especially in financial services or banking.
AI in banking. Great. Okay. Now, AI in banking means from the bank's perspective or from the customer's perspective?
Sir, customer's perspective.
From you
Because
want to
now,
study it from no, we are not getting into that thing. Okay. You want to get into AI into banking. Okay, if you can, if one of you can please write it on a pen or a piece of paper, then that would help you, understand where I'm trying to take you.
yes,
So
sir.
AI, then you have written banking. Okay, in banking you are talking about especially consumer application. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and now specifically what in consumer application you want to study?
Sir, what my research topic is the adoption of AI tools from the customer's perspective in banking
Great.
area.
Great. So you want to know the ease of banking through AI tools, or the convenience with which the customers adopt the, or the ease of banking that AI tools have brought in, the perception of consumer towards the AI tool in banking. What exactly you are trying to look into?
Sir, my variables are pertaining to all this, sir. Ease of operation, adoption, anthropomorphism, likewise, like how people are adopting AI nowadays in banking.
Okay, great. So are you trying to compare between different banks as well?
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay.
Generally, how people are
I
adopting.
hope you are getting my questions, Kirti ma'am.
Yes, sir, yes,
Okay.
sir, yes, sir. I'm getting
That,
you.
try and answer questions, try and dig down to deeper levels, so that you try and get a clarity that what is exactly that I'm looking forward from this topic. Okay. So that means when we started with AI, now we got down to a finer level, Ketki ma'am, since it's a it's a research idea. Otherwise, if you keep asking such questions, you would get on to the answers to this that would help you frame a larger idea, not only just topic. Okay. Yesterday, my learned colleague Ankita ma'am would have told you about how to formulate or identify problems and formulate topic and objectives. I'm not getting onto that thing. Okay, she has already covered on that thing. My idea, given that I'm trying to give it to you, that whenever any research idea, whether PhD, if it is PhD, then dig it more and dig it very carefully, because try and understand one simple thing, that uh, if I always go by this idea that if I got 4 hours to cut a tree, I would spend 2 hours in sharpening my axe. When you try and draw a mental map of research, you are trying to branch it and trying to understand that what all shapes can it take. Now, how should, like said, Ketki ma'am is doing her PhD in this topic, so she might have a great idea on this. Okay. Otherwise, how would I know this answer to this thing, that okay, whether I should look into, or is there any branch which looks into, say, consumer perception of AI tools, or is that, how many branches are possible in the in the so-called topic of my interest? Again, I'm refraining myself from calling it a topic. I'm largely trying to talk it as that how many branches can be there in the field of my study, which is of my interest. I hope you are getting my point. Okay. I'm largely trying to draw in front of you the interest based field study. I'm not saying it as my topic. Please understand it. Okay. Problem with I understand is that we are in a haste of finalizing the topic. Wait, please wait. Okay. Spend time, especially if you are not yet registered. Kirti ma'am, you're through with your RDC and all that thing?
Yes, sir. Data analysis is going on, sir.
Oh, great, great, great. You're almost in the mid of it. Meenakshi ma'am has raised the hand. Yes, Meenakshi ma'am. Meenakshi Solanki ma'am, do you want to speak something? You have raised your hand. Meenakshi Solanki ma'am, are you able to hear us? Do you want to add something to this discussion, or you do have any questions regarding this before I proceed, or shall I proceed? Oh, I believe that's by mistake that has been risen. Not an issue. Okay, so if you are planning to go with ahead with your PhD, or if I'm referring to some of the guides, with due respect, okay, this is my request to every one of you, that don't try to jump, even if you're writing a research paper, don't try to jump on a topic. Okay. Try and spend few maybe minutes or few hours or few days, few quick days on finalizing what all dimensions of research can you look into. Now you may ask me this question, that how I would know all the dimensions on my research. Okay. Because when Ketki ma'am would have started off, she would have a broader idea that she wanted to do something in banking, or I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Ma'am mentioned blockchain. Somebody in the group mentioned blockchain as research interest.
Yes, sir. Someone did.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Who mentioned blockchain? So if I'm able to reach to you, if you can listen to my voice, if you can answer it, please. Nonetheless, so if you're saying blockchain, no, blockchain is a very wide topic. So you are looking into what type of blockchain. You are talking it from a fintech point of view. You're talking it from a coding point of view. You're talking it from an application point of view. Try and fix one idea of it. Now you are talking it from an provider's perspective, or you're talking it from an consumer perspective, consumption perspective. Try and look it from that point also. So keep asking yourself what beautifully that is said in English, devil's advocate. Okay. So be a devil's advocate. Try and question your own answers. I repeat, try and question your own answers. The more that you would do it, the better you would be prepared, Ketki ma'am, when you would also be facing your PhD vivas and things like that. If you want to be better prepared, follow this advice of mine, be a devil's advocate. That is point number one. Then for everyone, I would give you a second piece of advice before I actually start with my idea on research design. Okay. So that you understand that, design comes in later. The topic, the design, what to do, what not to do, that comes later. Are you clear about that? What has made you get into this research? Why you picked up this idea? Okay. So are you clear about, see, remember one good thing. As a guide, I am telling you, okay, to the best of my abilities and knowledge, I am trying to tell you. All guides may not have, may not come from a very similar background that you are talking about. Okay. So don't expect that. See, guides are there to give you an overall supervision onto the topic or overall supervision onto the idea. They're not meant to give you what I should say, the nitty-gritties of the minor details of the subjects. Okay. Please understand this. This is something that you should have. This is something that you need to have. See, nobody reads into your conceptual framework and things like that. That you may read it and you have to write as a chapter. People tomorrow would like to know from it here that what you found from this research, even in a research paper also, that what you found from your research, what were your research objectives, and why this is the way it has to be. Hence, if this topic is not clear to you, don't just pick up any topic, even for writing a research paper. Okay. Forget about PhD. Not even for writing your research paper, pick up any topic unless and until you are clear with the mental map of the research. You are definitely, try and scribble it on a paper. You would, believe me, you would get a great idea. Once you have done it, then you can, you can start with the formal research. Now now you would be better prepared. Now, so I was asking, telling you another question, that how would I know that whether to go left or right? Should I look into manufacturer side or should I look into consumer side? Okay. The simplest answer to this is largely look into consumer side, because getting questionnaire filled or getting the data from the consumption end is comparatively easy. Idea number one. Idea number two, generally, it is better that you ask the consumer. Okay. Not because, there is a simple thing that we produce to consume. Okay. No one produced to consume self. Okay. So you produce to consume. So it's always the consumer's point of view or viewpoint that would be of material even to the manufacturer. Okay. It may be okay that at some point of time you may like to compare the consumption point of view with the with the manufacturer's point of view and give some differences. That's okay. Okay. But look into consumption point of view. Even companies or everyone would be interested in the consumption point of view. While writing research also, look into that idea. Okay. So read. The more you would read, the less confusion you would have, that which direction should I go. Okay. Whenever you have got confusion as to which direction should I pick up, read. Okay. So that would help you in getting clarities. Once you get clarities, your mental map would grow stronger. Okay. And second and most important thing in research, besides mental map, I'm getting you away and then I would connect you back. This is what I have learned from my guru throughout my PhD. Okay. This is what I write for you. Eat your frog. Does anybody in the group likes eating frog?
Sir, repeat your question, please.
Does anybody in this group of almost 58, 59 people, 60 people now, likes eating the frog? No, answer is no. No, nobody likes that. Now, what does it in literal sense means? See, frog is, it's okay. Let me ask you a simpler question. Say, for example, you are invited at some place. Okay, say your relative's place or something. They have asked you to, they have invited you for lunch or dinner, any occasion. Out of the three, vegetables which are served to you, think about one vegetable that you don't like. Okay, but you can't refuse taking it because it has already been served. There is no buffet system. So they are, you are seated on a table and they have already served you. What would you do? I repeat, out of three vegetables, one is that you don't like. Okay, two are that you like. One is, out of two you like one less, but one is the most favorite of yours. You don't have any option to reject any vegetable. What would you do?
Sir, may I answer this?
Yeah, please, Chetima.
Sir, what I will generally do is I will add that unliked vegetable with the liked vegetable so that I can, eat it out and will not waste also and will not realize also that I have eaten the unliked vegetable.
That's a new strategy, Ketty ma'am, that you have given me. Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you, Ketty ma'am. Anyone else?
Sir, if there is no option, then we have to eat it.
Agreed. So, what would be would you fix any order, Akanksha ma'am, to eat that vegetable?
I'll try to finish it first.
Great.
So that
Generally,
I
we
end
save
up with
the
some
best
good,
for the last. Yes.
so that I end up with a good thing of my choice.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what we understand that we would end that. What should I say? We would end that best. To best at the last. Yes.
Yes.
So that's what follow it in your research also. That's my simple idea. Follow it with your research also. That if you don't like something, pick up the part of research that you don't like. Okay. And the part of the research that you don't like, finish it the first. Okay. Please always remember this, even professionally also, the part of the research that you don't like, okay, finish it the first. You may decide that part, you may say that, okay, say I may not be good at whichever you decide it. Okay, so you take a decision that which part of the research you are not very comfortable with. Okay, and pick up that part and finish it the first, so that what else you are left with, the rest of the parts is, it's an easy go types. Okay, now with these two primary inputs, I believe these two inputs are clear to you. One, I repeat, try and draw the mental map of research. Okay, don't hasten up to finalize the topic. Try and draw the mental map of the research. And two, eat your frog. Okay, either in Ketki ma'am's way or in Akanksha ma'am's way. Okay, mix it, mix the ugly part with the good part, or finish the ugly part first, and so that you're only left with the good part. Choice is yours. You have got two strategies from two good uh, women out here. So uh, having said all this, let us, so any doubt, any questions till now?
Sir,
Yes, please, ma'am.
actually, I had network issue. I couldn't hear that mental mapping part. Actually, I'm
Okay.
interested in mathematical anxiety. So, how do I proceed with
Ma'am,
your the
I'm
way you
really
have
sorry.
explained?
I
Can you
missed your voice. You are interested in mathematical?
anxiety? It's part of mathematical education. Everyone, I think, every child, most of the child, they face anxiety because of mathematics. So, I'm
Ask me, ma'am.
interested in that part. Sir?
Ask me.
Okay, yes, sir. So, how do I proceed, sir, with
I would
your mapping, mental
that would have
mapping?
been a
Okay.
great thing, Sarkar ma'am, that if you would have planned this research, a couple of years ago when I was also a student, I would have been, still I can, give that input. Okay,
Anyways,
please go ahead, ma'am.
I'll send you a link so
Sure,
that you
sure, ma'am.
can
Sure.
fill up
Please do, ma'am.
whatever
Please do,
data
ma'am.
you need. Yeah,
Please do,
sure.
ma'am. Please do. I would also be a respondent to that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much. So, how do I
Yes, ma'am.
proceed?
Your question, ma'am.
For mathematical anxiety, sir,
Okay.
the way you have explained mental mapping, how do I
Yes.
proceed with that, sir?
Ma'am,
Since I missed that part.
the first idea should be that what is exactly that you mean by I'm not trying to look forward to an answer as of now. Okay. I'm giving you
Okay.
certain questions. Okay. That the first idea should be that I hope I'm audible, ma'am. Sarkar ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
I
great.
can hear you.
So, ma'am, the first idea should be that how you are like how you describe the idea of what you call as mathematical anxiety. Okay, that should be your first question. Second,
Yes, sir.
at which level do you feel that this anxiety generally occurs? Maybe at a class level you want to talk about, or maybe you are attaching this
Okay.
anxiety to an age level, anything, or irrespective of age, irrespective of class, you want to study the entire, because say for example, mathematics is taught at the PG level in MBA also. If I take an example, at an MBA level also, and it's studied, it starts from school. Okay,
Yes.
so how do you want to take it? Three,
Yes.
uh, since you now, from whose perspective you want to identify mathematical anxiety? From a teacher's perspective or from a student's perspective? Or from both of them? Okay. So then do you want to include that, okay, gender should also be a variable
Yes.
in that? Okay. So include that gender as a variable. Do you want to include that okay, the medium of
Yes.
teaching as per your idea, initial idea? Remember what I
Okay.
started talking about mathematical anxiety. Yes. So, as per your concept of mathematical
Yes.
anxiety, does this mathematical anxiety depends on medium also? Okay, okay. The medium in which it is taught. Say, for example, say you want to include other variables that okay, I would like to study that. How much how many lectures are there dedicated to mathematics? Okay, does the amount of lecture also differentiate between mathematical anxiety? So figure out all such factors, and then pick and choose the factors on which you would like to study this anxiety.
Okay.
I hope I'm making sense to you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so we try and choose all such variables, all such factors from your study, and try and
Mm.
focus only on those factors. Say, for example, for this maybe for research paper, I would be focusing on this out of 8 variables, I would be focusing upon 4 variables. Now, why 4 variables? That should be clear to you.
Okay.
Okay. If somebody asks you that, see, be prepared with an answer even when nobody is interested in asking this question. Because today or tomorrow, somebody would like to ask this question. Why only these variables? There can be 8 different variables. Okay. So be prepared with those answers. So that's the reason I'm telling you. The better prepared you are before you actually jump into the field of research, the more clarity and more contentment you would get out of your research. Because whenever you would present this research or whenever it would get published, somebody would be interested in asking with you why. Okay. So please be, this, why this topic, how this topic, things like that. So know the dimensions of the topic before you actually plunge into a topic. That's what I mean largely by
Hello.
mental. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Sarkar ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Ma'am, we lost your voice. Sarkar ma'am, we lost your voice.
Sir, I'm having network issue actually. So in between I missed, sir. Just the last part.
Ma'am, we lost your voice.
Yes, sir. I'm having network issue. So just
Oh,
the
oh.
last part. Can you explain again?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you're asking any further question, or shall I proceed
Yeah.
with the concept of research design?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can proceed, sir.
Okay, okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
thank you, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
So research design. Okay. So essentially, what you would do is that simple idea that if I have to get a house constructed, okay, and remember there are different types of house. I want to make a studio apartment. I want to make a flat. I want to make a row house or a bungalow. Okay. So similarly, our research dimensions also differ. If I'm writing an article, I'm writing a research paper, I'm writing a paper for Scopus Journal, or I'm doing a PhD in simple ways. Okay, so that's how your design would differ, and largely now you would understand. What some of you were telling, that after research topic is finalized, you would try and look into that how should I. Akanksha ma'am was also mentioning this, that how should I collect my data, how should I go about this thing. Now you're trying to detail things, and that's where the concept of design comes in. Okay, the detail of the things, if you have got, that's where the research design would come in. Okay, now this would be the general research design that I would be covering with you. In most of the designs, in most of the things, it would be descriptive in the sense that, see, most of the management, social studies, social sciences based studies would be descriptive in nature. Now what do I mean by that? See, you would be like, say, if you are interested in knowing that, like, say, Ketki ma'am is interested in knowing that, okay, how many people use AI-based banking tools, okay, or how many people are, say, satisfied with AI-based banking tools, how many people are aware with AI-based satisfaction tools, anything like that, or say, Sarkar ma'am wants to know that, okay, how at what age people get this, what you call as this mathematical anxiety, okay, or is anything like that, or in terms of blockchain, if you want to talk about. So if you are reporting what is existing, please understand this concept. If you are reporting through your research what is existing, then that would be a descriptive design. Most of the I repeat, most of the social sciences design, most of the design are, one of the most used design is descriptive in nature. Okay, so it can be anything. You are trying to evaluate something. You are trying to say that, okay, this happens, this does not happens, this is right, that is wrong, whatever it may be. A pattern you are trying to do, anything. So that becomes a part of descriptive research. Okay, so anything like you are trying to draw a relationship. Okay, like say again, Sarkar ma'am wants to draw it that okay, is that dependent mathematical anxiety dependent upon age, or it is dependent upon the teacher, or is it dependent on what all factors? Okay, so you can have that type of descriptive design. Okay, this can be three larger areas where you can talk about descriptive designs. Case studies, generally, if you are interested in studying any particular organization, group of organizations, or group of individuals, something like that in detail, then only use case study design. The only problem with case study design is that they cannot be generalized. Okay, you cannot generalize a case study. Please understand this. Okay, so you cannot, say in general that, okay, this is what would happen in general about a case study or something like that. Okay, this is something which you not, if you want to be very peculiar about something, that that's great. Say I want to do a case study on a particular school. Okay, say mathematical teaching in a particular school. So great, but that cannot be generalized that all CBSE or international curriculum boards would be following a similar pattern of teaching any particular subject. Okay, in anything like that. Okay, or so case studies have that's the biggest limitation in case study design, and I would strongly recommend any one of you who is planning a PhD should not, rather must not use a case study design. There would be hundreds of questions on a design method like this. So please don't use this. If you want to write a research paper, you want to do a case study based understanding, great, go with a case study design. Okay, because that you would be dealing with in-depth examination. Okay. But and even in case study design also, don't try to wander around. Go for an in-depth study. Pick up topic and go for an in-depth study. Don't try to wander around on a periphery and give some idea of that. Okay. So if you are choosing any organization to study, then you should be clear as to why you chose that organization and then give a in-depth analysis of that organization depending on a certain function or certain objective that you have chosen in that organization. Okay. If you want to do a comparison between the two variables, okay, I used a word, if you can look into here, stratified groups. Any one of you, please. What is this idea or concept of stratified group?
So they are homogeneous in between, but heterogeneous, homogeneous within, but heterogeneous between.
Great. Ketki ma'am has attended all her PhD, coursework lectures very sincerely.
Thank you, sir.
That's
Thank
good.
you, sir.
So absolutely, in simple terms, Ketki ma'am, homogeneous between but heterogeneous between means?
Homogeneous within, but heterogeneous between.
Agreed. So any simple
Yes,
term?
sir. Yes, sir. For example, there are two classes. One
Hmm.
class comprises of girls and one class comprises of boys. So
Okay.
entire class is having the gender of girls, which is homogeneous within. But if we talk about class A and class B, they are students of the same school, but they are different because of the gender.
Okay. Great. Great. Thank you, Ketki ma'am. That's a very a good example. In simple terms, okay, let us further simplify it further. At any given point of time, okay, you may be belonging to one gender, you may be belonging to a certain income group. You can take all, you may be belonging to certain age group, any one of them. Okay, you may be belonging to certain class. Okay, so at any given point of time, if you are studying some individual or individuals, then what would happen? Then there would be, that would be different from other. Okay, so you can clearly draw a distinction between group A and group B. So any such distinguishing factors make it as a stratified group. What in better way, Kirti ma'am said, homogeneous within, heterogeneous between. Okay, so that's how what you say that पढ़े लिखे लोग ऐसा ही बोलते हैं. That's how knowledgeable people put like this. Okay, thank you, Kirti ma'am.
Thank you,
So
sir.
no, so that's how I take an example also. Let's say you want to say that you want to compare a men and women, or you want to do a gender-based study based on buying habits. Okay, so that can be a cross section. But however, see, it's always better in a if you can add one dimensions to it. That not all studies, remember, not all studies are fit for one type of design. So it's always better that you can add what I say. You can add a variable of time. Say, for example, I give you an idea. We have done, there have been number of studies which talked about the pre and post globalization era. Okay, it has been almost more than, I should say, 25 years now that we have gone through globalization. 1991, so 2025, more than 30 years for that matter. So now doing in 2025, if you are doing a research on, say, globalization and its impact, it would be, a type of rotten thing. Okay? Because, it has been explored so many number of times. So, but I suggest you one, like say COVID, 5 years, 2020, COVID happened. It has been, 5 years that COVID happened. So pre-COVID and post-COVID, you can analyze businesses, you can analyze consumption pattern, you can analyze the new normal, what you are talking about. Okay. So you can analyze many factors in the pre-post-COVID type of a phenomenon. Okay. So if you do that type of measurement, and then you are studying that those variables over a period of time, okay, then that would make more sense in some of the researches. It is may not be essentially that all researchers may be, may be taking the time as a variable. Okay, that you have to study the time over a period of time. Okay? So if that is not, then go with a simple study that okay, in the present time, I want to understand that say who does more of say in Ketki ma'am's topic, who does more of AI based tools thing? It's the male or the female? Simple. Okay. Or if Ketki ma'am wants, she can study that okay, how over a period of time banking has evolved, okay, from COVID, because technological innovations during the COVID period have been maximum times. So it's up to you, depending upon your topic. Please pick up a design. That's what I want to make you understand. So it's not that the cross sectional. See, every design has its own limitation. So if cross sectional design has its own limitation, or if you have got a study which is more based on the essence of the time is important, then go with a longitudinal study. I'm sorry to say this, but most of us are what should I say? Most of us are mesmerized or are taken back by the idea of numbers. Okay, digits is something that interests us a lot. Agreed. That should be a thing, but don't only be after digits. Go beyond these numbers. Try and look at this thing that there can be an experiential ideas that the consumer carries. See, for example, if I want to ask every question, again, I'm taking Ketki ma'am's example. Is it okay, Ketki ma'am?
Yes, sir. Sure, sure.
Okay. So, like say, I'm taking up that I make a questionnaire. So usually, what happens that the PhD people would tell you that if it's a PhD questionnaire, make it a lengthy one. No, the idea is not to make a PhD questionnaire lengthy one or a smaller one, or how many questions would it suffice? Many of my, my research scholars ask me this question, sir, how many questions would suffice? Answer is not that. You should be able to precisely tell that, okay, from question 1 to 5, this covers my objective 1, from question 5 to 10 of question objective 2, and so on and so forth. Okay. So if this idea is clear to you, then go ahead with it. Okay. That is the first thing. Okay. Obviously, some of my learned colleague would talk about questionnaire designing and that things like that. So that is the first thing. The second idea is that not everything can be covered in the questionnaire, because if I try and ask all whys, all hows in the questionnaire, then my questionnaire would run through pages. You also understand that nobody is interested in asking that. Third, there may be when you write inferences, when you write discussions, okay, you must say that okay, ANOVA tells this or this test that tells this. Now, the better question would be that why is it so? Okay, if everybody would be interested in looking that, okay, you say that 70% of say male are comfortable with AI tools. Now, why is that? Females are not. I'm just trying to. I'm not being gender biased. I'm just trying to give you an idea that if this is what Ketki ma'am's data says, because she's in the data process. So, in order to write that why, I would personally suggest you that it's important that you go in field, meet with some consumers, okay, and actually check with them that why are how comfortable are they with using AI tool. If it is allowed, that can you see them, can you observe them in the field, so that you can write back that okay, AI tools are good, but what is stopping them from using an AI tool? Okay, go in the field, understand yourself. I give you one quick example. A bank installed an ATM machine, okay, in the village. So it was expected that that it was not exactly a village, a suburban area. Okay. So in a suburban area, bank installed an ATM. The usual response that an ATM would get is that people would rush to ATMs. Okay. I'm talking about the era when ATMs were comparatively, newer ideas. Okay. So, rather than going to bank and looking for lines, you can just drop it in an ATM, put it in your card and get the cash as much as you want. Types, okay. Depending on the transactions, limit of. So, but to the surprise of bank, this suburban areas was not using ATMs. Okay? Cutting the long story short, so there were researches that were conducted, or there were questionnaires sent out and surveys done and whatnot. But they did not yielded some, any. You asked bank that, are you aware that bank has put the ATM? They said yes. Okay. Then how is the ease of ATM doing, or do you find ATM good? Or are you aware how to use ATMs, things like that? Do the bank officers explain to you how ATM is to be used? You put all such question in questionnaire. Agree? Okay. So they asked all sort of question, but they were not able to reach to any conclusion as to why bank, why people are not trying to put on in use these ATMs. They conducted, covered more people. They conducted so-called awareness campaigns to use ATMs and things, but the result did not improve. Essentially, what was the point? That uh, many people, and what when they went into field, they started talking to people, they started observing people right in the field. They found that many people would use a soil note, okay, because ATM would give you fresh currency. The chances of a counterfeit currency in the fresh notes is higher than a soil note. Okay, a soil note which has maybe crossed 4 or 5 hands. So now everyone in India, that there is a common saying that if you give 500 rupees note and an X-ray, people would lift it in the light and see, irrespective of that whether they understand anything or not. Okay,
Yes.
so that's a common habit. So if the 500 rupees note has been circulated in this group, then I'm pretty sure out of 65, 66 people have actually raised it and seen the note, that whether it is right or wrong, or they would have performed their own tests of uh, being original currency, okay, not a counterfeit. So people rely on that note. So still they would go to a branch to get those soil notes, or what you say, currency in circulation, rather than the fresh crisp notes which are coming, which come out from an ATM. So that's what my point is. That try and, based on your available time, okay, especially in PhDs, try and go to the field of research. Collect that first-hand data. Talk to your consumers. Okay, try and get in, if possible. If you are not in a, if your questionnaires are yet to be filled, I would strongly recommend that go for a pilot study. See what consumer face difficulty, the respondents face difficulty in answering your question. See it for yourself. Which questions they are able to understand, which questions they refrain from answering, which question they take it private, anything. Okay? Look it from that thing. Go in field. So you would, just circulating the Google form won't get you answers. Okay, it would get you some answers, but if you want actually the answer of whys, hows, and things like that, try and go it in field. That's where qualitative data would help you. If you're not doing the entire qualitative data, not an issue, but at least go and talk to your consumers. That would give you an idea of that. Okay? Then we come on to see. We have talked about the first idea, descriptive, which gives you a larger idea. Okay, that means uh, which means that you are trying to report back what is already in the field. Okay, say for example, there may be many dimensions of say we were taking COVID as an example. So many dimensions of COVID yet to be explored. Okay, they're yet yet under scrutiny. There people are still trying to understand the phenomena. That is that the effect, is those the effect. How would that happen? How would that not happen? So there are some things which are known, there are some things which are yet to be known types. So those things would be under an exploratory research. Okay. So it would be that you are trying, based on the smaller data that you have got, you are trying to explore that idea further. Okay. To know all the so-called possible cause of that. Yes, anyone would like to say something? I have got a hand raised. I'm sorry, I missed that. I've got a hand raised. Okay, Meenakshi ma'am, still hand raised. Not an issue. Anyone would like to say something before I proceed? I'm sorry if you were saying something and I missed it. Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, at any given point of time, so you might have some data. You may not, you may not know the exact cause, and you may not be exactly able to assign the reasons to that thing, that why this happens times. So if you're not able to understand the reason as to why it happens, probably a cause effect understanding would be of a good use. That you take a dip further based on the available data. You try and look into more dimensions. Okay, you're trying to explore more dimensions of the problem. Okay, this is what can explain this phenomena better. Okay. Uh, then comes, this is something that we have been doing it right from our childhood days. That the example that I have put in, okay, that cover half of the leaf with aluminum foil, or keep that in shade. The half of the other half is exposed, so that you can understand, and hence say that okay, less green, more green in color. So hence you say that photosynthesis requires sunlight. Remember those examples, okay, which we used to write in our EVS practicals. So, when you grow up, you can still have, the consumers which are, say, exposed to, say for examples, Kiketki ma'am wants to understand that rural market is a bigger market. Say, for example, and it is right also. That how rural market is different from urban market when it comes to AI tools in banking. Say, for example. So, urban markets or metros especially are exposed to almost all types of banking channels. Whereas rural, there may be, some refrain or some ideas of technology may not either reach there, or there would have been some refrains. Okay. So you can have a comparative study done between does the services provided by banking are different from rural banks to the urban bank. The same bank, the rural branch and the urban branch, does it differ onto that? Okay. Or does the usage differ? One which is exposed, one which is not exposed. And based on that, exposure, how satisfied are they with that? Anything, you can lead that to any direction further. So such type of things, that the same things, people are exposed to and people are not exposed to. Okay. One variable that people are exposed to, that like say AI tools in banking. So people are exposed to AI tools in banking, here people are not exposed to AI tools. So that's how can you differ on that thing. Okay. So something like that, pre and post type of thing. But before training, post training, other factors remaining constant. This is due to the training. Say, for example, I take a mathematics test. Okay, since we have got a mathematician with us, so I take a mathematics test. Okay, before teaching the concept. Okay, and I take a hour's lecture, and after the same lecture, I take the same test again. Okay, so say, for example, Shrestha scored 2 out of 10. Okay, Ketki ma'am scored 5 out of 10, uh, and so on and so forth. Okay, and after the mathematics class was over, okay, we improved in our scores. Okay, so this was directly due to the impact of the class. Okay, if we do not take into account other factors, because then this was directly due to the so, but remember that pre and post thing, you have to keep, you cannot keep many variables mute. Please understand this thing. In my example, that you can directly relate it with the class. That the same paper before the explanation of concept and the same paper after the explanation of concept. So is there any improvement? Okay. So don't try to put in many control variables in an experimental research. Else, your validity of research would be questioned. Like say, if the student has gone out and if he takes tuition outside, for example, say, then if you take a test tomorrow, then there may be there may be external, then I'm not counting that. Okay, I do not count, say for example, if the student goes to tuition. Now, that would be wrong. That's what my point is. Now, say that if I want to, I would have put a control variable that I don't take tuitions into account. So, what all difference the scores have brought in, that is only because of the teacher. So, if you want to know that is that only because of the teacher, then give them what I should say, give them test just before the lecture and the same test after the lecture. If that is, the pre-post type of test you want to conduct at any level, not only with mathematics class, at any level. Okay. So don't try to put in many control variables and say that okay, only this variables impact. So usually, you need to understand the variables which you are trying to pick up. As I was giving examples, what factors are you taking into consideration, and how significant are those factors? Okay, see, if I point 10 factors, then obviously 5 factors would be more. I cannot include all 10 factors in my study. Okay, so it might be that 5 or 6 factors may be important, 3 or 4 factors may be less important types, something like that. Okay. So it's always that you keep in mind that what are the important factors, what are less important factors. So less important factors, say for example, Earth's atmosphere contain nitrogen, then mainly oxygen, then this, and 1% are this all gases. Okay. Now you can ignore 1% gases. I hope you're getting my example. So you can ignore those 1% gases when it comes to a design, or if you want to test something. Okay. So then you can look in for that. Okay, this is something that is important. So something like that. Okay. So pick and choose. Now, how, like say, this is clear in science that okay, what causes what. Okay. Now, in many fields, how would I know that whether this factor is important? Is how significant is then this? Refer to earlier. What should I say? Refer to earlier researches. From that, you would get an idea that okay, these factors are important. Okay, so you can test more factors onto that. That okay, 4 factors listed from that thing, and I am testing 5th factor. Okay, so there is something written about the 5th factor, but not essentially all has been written. So this is the point of start of my design, or this is why this design has been chosen. Okay, as I said, it's always better that you pick up by mixed design combination. I mean, you try and pick up quantitative with a qualitative. Okay, wherever it is permitted, try and pick up a quantitative with a qualitative. That would always be good. Okay, so that's all. Start with your topic. Okay, I sum it up quickly. Start with your design work, your so-called mental design of this thing. Uh, then pick up a topic. Once your topic is finalized, or your larger ideas is finalized, don't try to jump on to, if you're starting in research, don't try to jump onto the variables, independent, dependent, the relationship, control variables, moderating variables. Don't try to jump onto all these things. Okay, you simply say that, put it in simple words. This is what I learned from a doctor. I once went to a gastroenterologist, for some acidity issues. So I gave the idea that, I also Googled it, that after all, the doctor should also see that a Padalika type Kagmi is a red type of a person. So I said that what I asked him, sir, so he said, okay, tell me what is your problem. And I said, sir, GERD, okay, gastrointestinal reflex disorder. He said, don't try to teach me what is GERD types. Try and simplify it. Then he started asking me, sir, I get acid reflexes. Now, then he asked me second question, how do you know that those are acid reflexes? So, he said only one thing. Try and put it in simple words, what you feel like. Okay, this happens, that happens. Then he started asking simple questions. So, the most problematic area when you start with the research is that people try and fix on jargons of the research. Don't go by jargons of the research, please. Okay, at any given point of level, refrain yourself from asking jargons. Okay, or getting into jargons. Okay, pick it up in a more simplified way. See, tomorrow, if you are a research scholar, tomorrow, when you would be awarded, and after a few years, you would be a research guide. Okay, so understand research with a simplified idea, with a simplified concept. Okay, don't be mesmerized, don't be moved by the jargons of the research. Okay, and answering back what ma'am was saying, it is I solely believe that was because of many types of jargons and complexities. that most of the people, what ma'am was saying, mathematical and anxiety. Okay, listen down that thing. Try and keep it simple. Understand it from the concept, understand it with the examples. So once you have done all this thing, choose a design and then go with it. Okay. Any questions before I move to my last topic of the day? Any question on the design part that you would like to ask me? Or any,
Sir,
anything?
sir,
Yes,
one
yes, please.
small question. Sir,
Please.
during our research process, whether we are writing one paper or PhD we are
Yes.
pursuing, is it possible that one design is, we started with one design, but then we feel, no, this is not proper, and can we
Ma'am,
change the research design?
largely, Kirti ma'am, largely, if you are not, in terms of PhD, if you are not submitted the synopsis, you can change, make as many changes as you want. Okay.
Okay.
But largely, I believe that, as I said, Rima, largely in management, in social studies, economics, all such fields, it would be most of, even in literature also, it would be most of a descriptive design that would be, applicable. Okay. Say in your case also that you are studying AI in banking, so you would be mostly reporting what is, AI in banking, how it is used, how convenient it is, and things like that. Stay back with that.
So, sir, in terms of science related researches, it is
But even in
exploratory.
management also, you can have exploratory and experimental design. It's not that only science can use exploratory or experimental design. No, even in management or any social sciences also. As I said, I give you an example that you can talk about that. Okay, the same banking tools applicable which are available to say rural areas and those are available at urban areas. A comparison between them. So
Yes.
one are so control variables versus test variables, things like that. You
Okay,
can do,
okay.
do that also. That's not a never a problem. You want to say that okay, you want to take a longitudinal study based on COVID. Okay, that can be also done.
Okay.
Okay, but largely decide on your topic and then your objectives. Based on that understanding, then go with what I should say. Uh, then go with what I should say. Then go with choosing a design.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. Fair enough. So now I start with the last topic of the day, sampling and sampling distribution. I want take you to the theories and things like that. What is this error, that error? Two or three important ideas that I would like to talk about when it comes to sample and choosing a sample. Uh, First and foremost, okay, most of us get into that thing. What is a population when it comes to research? Anyone?
Sir, our entire field of study, our entire, all the members in that study.
Okay, explain with an example, Ketu.
Sir, for example, my topic is AI in banking. So
Great.
those people who are using AI or who are aware of AI, they will be my population. Everybody who is part of AI, who understands AI and is using AI in banking.
Or shall I say this, ma'am, that anyone and everyone whose bank is, providing them an AI-based service is my population.
No, sir, not exactly. Because
Okay.
it is adoption of AI, what I feel, sir,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
adoption for those people who are either aware or who are using AI. So maybe
Hmm.
my bank is providing the AI services, but I am
Agree.
not at all aware and I have never ever used.
Ma'am, see,
So,
try and understand, Ketu. That means that, say, for example, I am a consumer of a bank. Okay, I am a customer of a bank who is
yes, sir.
providing an AI-based service. Agreed? Now
Uh,
that can be my first level of research, that am I aware about it or not. Agreed?
hmm, hmm.
That can be one of my research objectives, that whether I am aware that my bank is providing AI based services, or
Yes,
rather what all AI based services I am aware that my bank is providing. Yes,
yes, sir.
that can be one of my research, to start with my research part. Okay. So essentially, all those people or all those respondents who fit into your criteria of topic
Hmm.
is your population.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, but since you cannot go and ask everyone, because there would be lakhs and lakhs of consumer. Even if I talk about
Yes.
a certain city, or even if I talk about a certain demo, whatever my limiting factor in the research may be, it may be an area-based
Hmm.
research, or it may be a bank-based research, it may be a gender-based research. Whatever my limiting factor is, I cannot even go and ask to the entire population. So what I would do, I would pick up the representation. Okay. Remember, I use this word representation. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I would use a representation of a population. That is what would become my sample. Okay. Now, this is the most tricky idea when it comes to research. That I would come to that part towards the last. That how much is too much. That means how much sample should I draw to make my research? What should I say? To make my research valid, to validate my research. Okay, I would come to that part. Okay. So the basic concept is clear: the population and the sample. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So remember, your sample should be in all senses a true representative of the population. I give you another example as to what do I mean by that. Okay. Say, for example, uh, you are trying to draw some general-based study. What is the uh, in general? What is the gender ratio in India? In general, I'm not getting into any particular state. State-based
Maybe,
gender ratio may be different. In general,
may-
what is the gender?
maybe 10 is to 1.
10:1. Okay. Say, for example, so that
Maybe
means
10.
if I am collecting a sample of 100 people, okay,
Hmm.
then how many males are expected to answer?
90
90 males and 10
and
females, or
and
rather say 80 20
sir. Like it will be 70s to 30.
70/30. That's what my point is. That's a 70 males and 30 females. So even if I get 65/35, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What if I get a reverse of it?
That won't be okay, sir.
I hope you got my point. When I say that sample should be a true representative of the population, I do not only mean that the sample which you have taken up, okay, in larger term, I also mean that the sample which is generally seen should be a true representative of the population. It may be demographics, it may be in any other criteria. So the published data would give you an idea about the general distribution of the population, and your sample should be more or less towards the general distribution of the population. Else, be prepared to answer questions, okay, which I believe it would be difficult for any one of us to answer. I hope this first idea is clear between population and
Yes.
sampling. Yes,
Yes, sir.
great. Now, so how to collect this sample? Okay, so either you can pick up a random site or you can pick up a non-random site. Okay, so if you have got a list of things to do, then you can obviously then that picking up would be simple from a random sample. So, like say, I can ask a question: is my uh, any doubts till now? Yes or no?
No, sir.
This is a random sample. This is the simplest random sample. The chance of answering this question is open to everyone. You ask a question, open question in class, anyone can raise a hand and answer. That means every person from a population has got a chance to be a part of sample is the simplest idea of being a random sample. Okay. And hence, that is one of the reasons why in statistical ways, if you select samples randomly, that is one of the most, reliability of research would increase further. Okay, as soon as people hear that, okay, oh, picked up a random sample, great. Okay, because then if everyone, then that means there is the biasness in research is lowered because of picking up a random sample. Okay, now you can pick up a simple random. Thanks to Kirti ma'am, she has already explained stratified, so I'm not getting it again. Okay, Systematic sample, say for example, I would use this example. Say for example, we have got 10,000 purchase orders in a certain month to which we have to study. You want to pick up a sample of 50. So divided by that, so you want to, you would study 200. Okay. So every 200 sample would be your, say, sample. Remember that while if you are picking up this method of systematic sample, there should not be a particular order on the listing that should be followed. Okay. That after 100, every 100, there is a so-called gender district. It's based on certain gender that a female's name appear or anything like that. So there should be no order in the list. Okay. Else you would end up picking up almost a similar fashion of samples. Okay. So that would not be a random in nature. If you get that list, randomize it first and then carry on this systematic sampling. If you want to do a cluster, area-based study, all many researchers, like say Ketki ma'am is doing research on banking, so it may be a cluster-based study. So if your delimiting factor is area, for example, okay, or area is an important criteria. Say for example, I give you an understanding. Uh, Anyone from Delhi? Anyone from Delhi in the group? Okay, not an issue. I'm pretty sure the consumption pattern, even within your city, may be different between, say, north, south, east, or west. Yes? Can we say that?
Yes, sir.
Or, there may be a so called posh colony or slum area, things like that. Yes? So, if you want to compare a certain variable which is common between this both, okay, like say any uh, facility provided by government, which is common in both these areas. You want to study that. So here you would use, so if you want to say that I am studying, say, in the city of, in a particular city, then include the, divide, if you have got a distinction between, say, north, south, east, west type of distinction, then try and include respondents from all these areas. If you want to actually say that this area, this is an area, this is a study of the city. Okay. So hence, you would have different clusters, okay? Because these different clusters would represent different types of characteristics of sample. And based on these characteristics, you would have a different understanding of the same variable, okay? So at any given point of time, the idea is simple.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
sir.
please.
Can we use cluster sampling with non-probability sampling technique? Like, is it a probability or non-probability sampling technique? Like, if
Ma'am,
we
this is
have
a
used
random. This
judgmental
is a
sampling
random.
technique.
Ma'am, this is a random.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay, sir.
Like, say,
So,
for
like, if we
example,
have, so if we have used judgmental sampling, and can we use cluster analysis in that?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't got your question at the first one. I missed your voice. I'm really sorry.
Like, I say, like, if we use judgmental sampling,
Okay.
and then can we
I'm
use
coming to that.
cluster analysis?
I'm coming to that. I'm
Okay,
coming to that.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
So now comes the non-random sampling. Okay. Non-random sampling is something which many researchers generally use. Okay. And first and foremost is something that I have seen in many research papers that I have reviewed. Convenience-based sampling. Okay. I asked the person, or I approached the people who were convenient to me. Simple as that. Okay. Judgmental sampling is something that I ask you a simple question. I want to buy an agriculture land. Okay. Say I'm taken to a land in front of, I'm standing on a piece of land. Okay. Now I want to, whether I should buy that land or I should not buy that land, whom should I ask? Shall I repeat my question? I want to buy an agriculture land. I'm standing on a piece of land, okay, meant for agriculture purposes. Shall I buy this land or not buy this land? Whom should I ask?
Farmer.
Sorry, ma'am.
Farmers, because they are aware which one is more fertile land and which one is not.
Great. Farmers. Who else?
The
Close friends or relative whom we are comfortable with.
The reference group. Someone wants to say that.
To someone who is a known person in agriculture area and land, and if we
Great.
know that person,
Great. 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 This is where judgmental sampling comes in. Okay. That means you are using some authority, you are applying some judgment, okay, of yours, that who can be my sample. I hope my point is clear to you. You are
yes,
using some, you are applying some criteria to judge that, okay, he or she can, I cannot go and ask everyone that, okay, shall I buy this land? Okay. So I'm applying some criteria to understand that, okay, he can be a part of my sample, he cannot be a part of my sample. Like so many people give you advice. You don't
Sir,
follow all advices which are given to you. Ketki ma'am, you want to add something? Please go ahead.
sir, can we call it as expert opinion?
Absolutely, yes. Expert sampling is judgmental sampling.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, sir.
Important idea is that what criteria of being an expert are you choosing? Like say somebody said that, okay, my friends and family. So if there is something, see, as I was telling you, there can be hundreds of people who can give you an advice. Whom do you believe? That's up to you. Okay, that's your what you call as in consumer behavior term. That's your reference group. Okay, so many companies study your reference groups in order to know that who would be the opinion leader in such that. Okay. Now, somebody asked me a question regarding judgmental sampling and cluster sampling. Can you repeat that question? Okay, let me complete this. Quota sampling means that, okay, that can be, I pick up, I pick up something like, okay, and like say I'm studying the results of class 12, okay, which are declared, and I'm picking up that, okay, comparison between science and commerce students, okay, who have done well. Say, for example, okay, so I pick up that, okay, 100 I would study from science, 50 I would study from, uh, say, commerce. Okay, I may have put in some logic behind the quota. Okay, depending on the basic idea that who are more students like. So I pick up one from, I fix up them that quota and I keep sampling till that fixed number or that quota is complete. Okay, so once that quota is complete, things are good. Okay, so and then snowball sampling. Snowball samplings are, say, for example, a police cracks a case. Okay, so what would police do? Say there was a set of people involved in robbery, okay, or in a crime. So initially you may not know that. So how would police catch the entire gang then?
Sir, please repeat the question.
The question is simple. Like say a gang committed a robbery. Okay. Now police does not know that it was a gang or it was individual or there was some group of people who have done that. Now how would police catch the entire gang?
Sir, by getting one person detail
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
tracing the
Then
evidences
based
that.
on that inputs from one person, then the next person, then you link it to third person. That's how. Okay, that's how you end up catching the entire gang. Okay,
Yes, sir.
the same thing you do in studies where the exact sample is not may not be known. Like say for example, you want to do a study on say drug based samples. Okay, people who consume drugs. Okay, so I don't know how many or the harmful effects of drugs, whatever you want to study. I'm pretty sure we may not be knowing, people who consume drugs even in our locality. Agreed? So what is the first one? You need to find the first sample. Okay, who is a
Yes.
drug addict? Then he would give you the second drug addict. So based on his reference, you would go and ask the second drug addict. Now that's how you would increase the sample size. Okay, that's how a small snow, which when it comes down, when it rolls down, it gathers mass. That's the reason why it is called a snowball. Okay, clear with this idea? And now the last part. I'm
Sir, I have
skipping.
a question.
I'm sorry. Somebody's saying something. Please go ahead.
Sir, I am having a question.
Yes, please, ma'am. Please.
Sir, how do I know which appropriate sampling technique will be appropriate for my research
Great. That's a
among
good
these
question.
sampling?
That's a good question. Now, but Ankita ma'am, to answer it in simple ways, see, based on the again, based on the topic, okay, that you have picked up. Now you have to choose that, okay, what type of sampling design would it be, good with that? Say, I give an example. Well, say, for example, the first criteria is that, there is a list available to me. If list is available, now I can talk about random or non-random. In random, then which side of random I am trying to look into? Like, say, do you have a stratified group to understand? Your topic is based on a stratified group. Say my research topic is based on that gender as a factor. Okay, my entire research topic is based on gender. That means that's a stratified group. So I should use, and if that is a list available, then I should use a stratified random sample. Okay, Ankita ma'am, is my example clear to you?
Yes, sir.
In most of the cases, since you may not, like say you want to do a general consumer based study, okay, so say for example Ketki ma'am can look into a certain banks, so she can pick up her research in two ways. One, she can throw open the questionnaire and anyone and everyone who is using an AI based banking can answer it. Okay, or probably she can go to a bank, obtain the list of the consumer, and then she can make a call or send them a WhatsApp saying that, okay, I'm from this bank, I'm doing this research, and that's how I need this data. Are you getting my point? Okay, so that's what that's how it would be applicable. Am I clear,
Okay, sir.
Ankita ma'am? In the same research topic, you can follow a random or a non-random type. Okay. Now I come to the last
Okay.
question, and then I would open the group for further questions. Okay, somebody has given me a question. Uh, Multiple time series design. Okay, I would try and answer it towards the end, Akanksha ma'am, if it is okay.
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay. So I come to the last type of a question. Uh, that so try and answer the last that how much is too much likes. Okay, that means how much data should I pick up? Okay, uh, so that it becomes easy for me to answer that. Okay, now that's a tricky part of it. I'm skipping all this thing, but remember one I would try and with that thing. So what are the strategies that you can use in determining the sample size? Obviously, if you are covering a small population, then go for census. Ask everyone then. Okay, if that population is actually small. If you're looking into a market or a consumption of a certain product which is new to the market, or what you call it as a niche market type based product, okay, then go for everyone. Okay, no, you don't have any choice but to go for everyone. Okay, if you have chosen a topic which is say a leadership based topic, which wherein you include say the CEOs of certain characteristics of organization in a particular area, say only there are 100 organizations, then the idea is that you try and cover almost every one of them. Okay, so no other choice you have got. Use it from a similar study that, okay, the similar study was conducted in say Bangalore. They have chosen a sample size of 500, so I'm following the similar size, so I'm using almost similar size. So that can be one type of justification that you can give. Such type of published tables that can be used. Okay, so they would give you an idea as to what type of precision that you are looking forward to, or use the sample size formula. Let me give an example to that thing. Okay, that what do I mean by use a formula? Something like this. you would find such, calculators which are available to you. Okay. So you have to give the inputs of sample size. What is the population size? Okay. Now, in many cases, you may not be knowing the exact population size. Okay. So the good thing is that you put up an RTI, okay, to a concerned bank, to a concerned, ministry and something like that. You put up an RTI asking that, okay, I want to know that what is the current data which is available to you on such type of consumption. Okay. So you can put up an RTI. So that RTI would give you a population size idea. Say, for example, that I may not have the latest census data. So if I'm doing any study based on, say, census data or something like that, and I can put up an RTI and ask that, okay, well, what is the latest data? Okay, as on date. Okay, that if the date you received RTI, as on date, what is the latest data of, say, literates in India or any other data? Because many ministries would publish this data annually. So either you trust on the last published data. Trust means you have that access to the last published data. Somehow, if you are not able to get that data, you can put up an RTA. So that would give you a population size. Okay. What type of confidence level are you picking up? Usually 95% that you are confident that, okay, if I am asking this thing, then this population, or if I am repeating this with another sample, then 95% I am confident that it would be the same. And what is the margin of error? Okay, what is the, what is the, what I should say in simple terms, what is that's something that, you would be okay with. Okay. The only simple thing is that if I reduce the margin of error, you can see it on the screen that it is 383. So if I reduce the margin of error types, say if I give it 1, then you can see the sample size. Okay. So if I change the margin of error, so that's how the sample size changes. Okay. So statistically, if you want a less margin of error, you should be collecting more data. Okay. I tell you the reason as to, I give you a simple idea. See, if you want to be more sure about your study, okay, it comes from a simple idea. Less study, less confusion. More study, more confusion. So if you want to remove the confusion, you need to study further to that point. Okay. So that's the same thing which happens in the data also. So if I'm not pretty sure about the data, or if I'm not able to conclude something from the data, increase the amount of data. Okay. So even if I would recommend that at some point of time in, say, your synopsis, you have given 600, say for example, once you've done pilots and things like that, and you are not too happy or you don't feel too confident telling people about your results out of the 600 data, I would recommend that go beyond 600. Okay. Go beyond 600, 700, 750, till some point that you feel that, okay, now I have collected, I've distributedly collected. Now this sample can truly represent my population in many ways. Okay. If in almost all ways. Now that's what exactly the sample size should be like. Okay. So if you want to reduce that margin of error, you have to collect more data. I've given you an example of that. And this I've taken up that because in practical life problems, you may not be knowing the standard deviation of the population. Okay. Either you conduct a pilot study, calculate the standard deviation, and then go with it. Okay. Else, if you're not, in all practical research purpose, if you're not very sure about that thing, then you can be, no, then you can use such type of calculators. There are other calculators which are, not only this online. There are statistical calculators which are available. So you can feed in those numbers, feed in those data, and you can obtain the type of sample size. And those are valid type of sample sizes. So that's all from my side as far as this data is concerned. This is concerned. I don't want to stretch it beyond 7. Akanksha ma'am, you asked me about the multiple time series design. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
time series designs primarily are used for wherein you would like to forecast. Okay. That, okay, based on this trend, what does, you want to give projections. Okay. So if you have got many trends at one go, or many variables which can give you a trend, say, how can I say that the economy would go good? I would analyze few trends, okay, few variables, and in the past, and to show that okay, this is how it can be like. Okay, so that is where the multiple analysis, time series analysis would come in. Okay, so those are primarily projection based techniques.
I have one more question, sir.
Please, ma'am.
Sir, like we discussed about, there are two, broadly, there are two types of sampling. One is random and one is non-random
Sampling techniques, yes.
Yes.
These
And
techniques are to obtain the sample.
yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
And at one point also we read about in an experimental research design, the concept of randomization.
Okay.
So, sir, are these two things related or they are different?
Ma'am, see, in experimental design, if you are randomizing the, if you are randomizing the things, you pick and choose the sample randomly. Okay. Well, like say a certain drug was administered to say, well, like say I take an example of COVID vaccine, say for example. Okay.
Yes.
So that was administered to millions of people. Okay. Now we want to study the after effects of COVID vaccine. Okay. So now to study the COVID vaccine, so you want to compare between people who were administered the COVID vaccine, people who were not administered. So that is where experimental design would come in. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So now you want to study that out of say 10 lakh population that were administered COVID vaccine. Say for example, okay. No, how would I would pick in? Okay, I would call up any person out of because I would have a list. Okay. So I'm
Yes.
calling people or I'm contacting them through any ways. Okay, questionnaire. I'm not getting onto that. How I'm doing I'm collecting the data. I'm not getting onto that method. Say in simple terms, I'm calling them and asking them certain set of questions. Okay, do you are facing this after COVID vaccine? Okay, so then that becomes a random thing.
Okay. So random sampling we can do if we have our sample list, a list of the subjects.
Absolutely, ma'am. That is something which a respondent list you need to have.
Yes, respondent sheet more better, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone, any further questions or any remarks that you would like to make, and anything like, if I can be of any help further to you, or if you would like to share, I might have missed on certain ideas or certain things, or if you would like, add something to it, you're most welcome to do so. Else, we close it down, we call it a good evening for everyone. Because, I understand and I've got a lot of respect for you people. But, you are spending the entire day, and after spending the entire day for 1.5 hours, you are with me. That's huge respect for every one of you.
Sir, one thing for my own knowledge, I want to know.
Yes, ma'am.
As we say, sir, research is the you need to add something new to the current field of study.
Absolutely.
So, if I want to write a research paper, may not
Yeah.
be related to my PhD topic, but
Agreed.
I just want to, sir, explore certain things about a particular field.
Hmm.
Is it okay?
Ma'am, it is perfectly okay. I would, strongly recommend you only one thing. Before you get into any further topics, please Google it. Okay. I
Please
give you.
Google. Okay.
I would tell you why I'm telling you so much. This thing. One of my research scholar came in that, sir, I came up with a great idea. And then he went on to explain his ideas for another 30, 40 minutes. He was explaining the research. And he said that this is a never done before research. Great. Then I asked him the next question. Have you Googled it? He said, no, sir, you can. I don't mind that. But, you can Google it and you would not find any such stuff. And I Googled it, and to my surprise, Kirti ma'am, there were two almost similar topic on which the PhD, the first two research results were the PhD thesis, which are already done. Okay.
Oh.
So that's what my, simplest, see, ma'am, in our years, it was actually difficult. Okay. Now, knowledge is available a click away. Okay. So we get that thing. You start typing in Google, and there are hundreds of, Google would give you hundreds of options that what you would like to ask, because someone already has searched what we are wanting to search types. Okay, so get on to that thing, and then if you find that, okay, this is some addition which would actually make, see, that's the point, Keti ma'am, I was telling that, go in your field of research. Once you go in your field of study, then you would definitely find some new variables which others may not have explored. Okay, if you can bring up new reasons, as I give you a reason, okay, that soil notes. Okay, now can an ATM generate soil notes? Now that becomes another idea. Okay, so can you would find definitely that people may not be very comfortable with AI and things, things like that. Even the so-called urban consumers try and find out. The idea is not to find out what, the idea is more to find out why and how. Now that would be a better addition to pool of knowledge, Kirtima. That's the
Okay.
recommendation I would like to make to you, to anyone. Go and interact with your people, respondents in the field. Once you understand that what happens exactly, what is the nature of this particular thing, how it is applied in field, you would come back with so many, good understandings and good answers, which probably people are looking forward to. That would be your contribution, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for all your, help, support, contribution. Everyone who's present over here today. Um, you have made. Although I was, I remain indebted to my respondents, that to all the participants, all my respected participants, that you find time, for spending, and you interact. Okay, see, that's how you and me both would learn. Okay, so thank you very much. And once again, thanks to RFI, all my respected participants, uh, colleagues, Neha Jain ma'am, Ajay Jain sir, Saurabh Jain sir, Yograj sir, everyone. Thank you very much, and have a very good evening.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Chabra sir, good evening.
Good evening, Neha ma'am.
Sir, I sincerely apologize for not being able to join the session.
Absolutely, please don't be, ma'am.
So, with your kind permission, may I now take a moment to introduce you to our
Ma'am,
participants?
not an issue. I would be interacting with them again on plagiarism, and then probably if you get then you can introduce me, because I don't want to stretch it further. The time is already done.
Okay, sir, I'm extremely sorry.
No, no, please don't be, ma'am. Please don't be. We are colleagues, ma'am. Absolutely, need not to be sorry for anything.
So, shall we conclude, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, it's time to conclude this insightful session. But before that, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to all participants for their valuable contributions. A special thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Shesha Chabra sir, for generously sharing his profound knowledge and insights with us. We would also like to sincerely thank the organizing committee for their meticulous planning and dedication. With a deep gratitude due to our supporting partners and sponsors whose continued encouragement support us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neha, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Have a very good evening ahead.